locals in Australia, and he'd often come to our property ride motocross. And he's talented in so many areas. He's also very, very... he's very educated. He does music. He can dance like you've never seen anyone dance. He races motocross. He can drive race cars. And he's a professional cyclist, and he's back. And it's so great to see such a genuine guy. He's got a good support and family and team around him.
But also to have the mental strength to say, OK, I had that. I'm OK now, and I'm going to come back at world level so fast. That's hard to do.
This is impressive because Clapp, he's an individual time trial specialist. We would have probably expected he's a veteran of women's cycling with so much experience.
They're still recovering.
They did the best job they could to put themselves in a gold medal winning ride. Now they just have to wait and see what is possible.
Here's the French women. Switzerland have ripped their way up this climb. On the front, this team, Juliette Labousse, setting the pace, and it's hurting Mavis Squiban, number 36 there, who is an immense climber, just desperately sprinting to stay with Juliette Labousse and isn't really able to. Labousse just going that little bit too hard for Mavis Squiban right now. So the French maybe not as cohesive as we expected.
Well, like I said, Anthony, it's been interesting that they've been labelled the outright favourites, because when I look at the strength of the Australian team, they have maybe one weak link there, but they're so experienced. We have a real race on our hands here.
We definitely have a race on our hands. Welcome to the mixed relay team time trial. We're in the final phase now. All the teams are out on the course.
Men were wearing long sleeve in this heat. It's more aerodynamic to wear long sleeves. It does catch a lot of the wind in the frontal surface area. They're the only two teams in the men's French and Australian teams that chose to wear the long sleeves. You can see these women have been in the time trial in the wind tunnel because they've got an optimal setup with their hand position, their head position, their back position, everything optimised. This is the point where
problem. This is a problem. Royce has got a big problem here for Switzerland.
Well, this is a huge problem. This could put Switzerland out of the medal contentions.
This is not good news. Royce has to have a bike change.
If it's a quick bike change, I think she'll get back on and pull them to the finish. Otherwise, it's all over. It's not a super quick bike change.
Well, look how far away the team are. This is not good news for the best rider in the team in the time trial. I don't know what happened, whether she had a puncture or something, but Royce immediately, no, she shakes her head. She doesn't want anyone to speak to her, maybe, but she can see the riders in front. Suddenly, the tables have turned a little bit. at the point, the last point, it was Switzerland 20 seconds out of France, Spain at 1:32. Suddenly the French have got a big chance now.
Absolutely. That's a huge disappointment for Switzerland, because they were a medal chance. I think the two riders in front will sit up and wait for her.
Sadrine Cabal swings across the road. She is an immense descender. You remember her stage win in the Tour de France Femme, where she went ripping down the descent and no one could follow her. She is extremely quick. Look at the speed now of this French squad. 84 kilometers an hour. Now they hit 85.
I believe the men got up to 100 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And then a U-turn. So it's a very technical circuit.
They're going and they're running out of gears now. It's all about just going flat out, full stick, all the way to the bottom of that descent. This is the Italian women. This doesn't look like it's going so well either. Trinca Colonel on the front. Venturelli, look at the gap between the wheels. Venturelli is right on her absolute limit. Trinca Colonel is super fast. Venturelli's no slouch at a time trial either. Look at the way she's fighting here, Rochelle. Every pedal stroke.
Yeah, it all comes down to the day, doesn't it? You can be on or you can be off. You know, it's just such a challenging environment and circuit here in Rwanda, which makes it so unpredictable.
Trinca Colonel. She was the rider who was discovered riding the Gran Fondos in Italy, and now she is one of the best riders in the world. Venturelli will get a little bit of respite. This is the problem, having lost a rider so early. But they just don't have anyone to change with. Soraya Paladin, you would have expected to be the stronger rider, but just obviously having not a great day. They're dragging themselves now towards the next split. Intermediate to Spain are the fastest team there. This is the split for Italy. They're going to go through well down on Switzerland, but we know Switzerland have had a problem. It's going to be 53 seconds, 53.76.
But you have to take into account that in an individual time trial over this distance, Marlene Rousseau is faster. She's not back. We just see on our screen.
Still not back. Well, here's the split. They've gone on and they are still going to be faster than Spain. But let's just take a little look at by how much and whether they're slowing down. Here's the time, 1:7.95. They've lost, I reckon, 25 seconds, having lost Reusser.
And still probably going to go through the time check faster.
Yes, they've gone through the time check faster by 1:32 at the top. They've gone through 1:07. through that split. So they are faster, but the question is, if they've lost 25 seconds on Spain, France were only 20 seconds behind at the last intermediate before this one. Does that mean that, and they're looking around to see where Reusser is, does that mean that France now become the fastest team at this split? We'll see what happens. Are you surprised they haven't waited for Reusser, or do you think it's best they don't?
I think they should have, because I think if Reusser is motivated to get back on, she has to use a lot of energy to catch them. If Reusser has said on the radio, it's all over, we just see here.
This is Felicity Wilson. She doesn't.
We expected this.
Yes.
Yeah. A developing rider, here for the experience. Two very, very strong experienced riders, Brodie Chapman and Amanda Spratt.
Yeah, this is a time trial too much for Felicity Wilson-Haffenden. Now,
she went really deep. She just gave indication to the team vehicle behind her. So it's over. And they give the information in the radio. You're down to two riders now. Brodie Chapman and Amanda Spratt. Two very strong, experienced riders.
They are so experienced. Amanda Spratt, of course, has finished on the podium in the road race. Previously in her career. This is the hardest part of this first drag up towards this intermediate split at the top. It's going to be interesting here. And now Brodie Chapman starting to suffer.
Yeah, Amanda Spratt on a very good day, but so much experience and knowledge when it comes to acclimatising and taking on all the different challenges. So we're back with the French women now, and as we said, 5 kilometres to go to the finish line. They've been labelled the outright favourites. They were put in a winning position very, very closely by the men. Let's see what they can do and bring it home.
Well, they might not be the best time trialists in the world, but I would say that these three are perhaps three of the best climbers in the world right now, and they're about to go through the split with potentially the fastest time. France come up to the split. What is it going to be? They've turned the tables. It's now 15 seconds faster than Switzerland for France.
Very, very impressive. They are living up to expectations out there today.
Oh, she's back.
She's coming back, yeah.
Reusser is back. Can she give them a turn? She's clearly going faster than her two teammates.
This is where I said, Anthony, I think it would have been a better tactic for the riders to just stop, sit up, let her come back, because then they would have had more than 3 kilometres of help from Marlon Russa.
Yeah.
Now she's had to work really hard up the cobble climb, and there's only 1.5 kilometres to go after that. That Russa can get on the front and pull them to the finish.
They needed her here, didn't they?
They did.
Because this is the point where Marlon Reusser would have made a big difference. And now, actually, they've lost Lechty. So it's Reusser who goes forward with Naomi Rook, having done that work. Reusser pulled them down that descent and on that hard section to the bottom of the climb. They might have gone a little bit quicker. They need to really move now, because through that phase they lost 35 seconds on France. Royce has done some job. Look at Naomi Rook.
Yeah, she has to be careful not to drop Rook, but there'll be some communication there. She knows she can't go full. She knew before this time trial. She's the strongest woman in the world in individual time trial. She just has to go as fast as her teammate.
She can't blow up Naomi Rook right now. She needs to help her all the way. They get onto the more respite section. Here come Australia. What is this time? This is getting very, very tight between these teams. Australia reached the split, and let's bear in mind that France have turned the tables on Switzerland, and now Australia are down. Australia 3.32 seconds at that first split. This is getting really interesting now.
So tight. 3 seconds between the French and Australian women to bring this home. Will France live up to expectations? They are down to 2 women now.
Well, that's the drop of Cedrine Cabal. They've obviously used her on the descent. Cabal has done everything she can. She's on the absolute limit. You can see how much that's hurt her. So they're going to go with Maeva Squiban and Juliette Labousse to the top of this climb. It's going to be Rochelle all about this to decide who wins medal. And France are 15 seconds ahead. Of course, Australia haven't got to, or the Italy team. They're not out of the medals right now, because anything can happen on this final rise. They come through this intermediate split and they're going to be third fastest, with Australia and Germany yet to finish at that point. So Italy go through third fastest time. They're 40 seconds down. They're looking pretty good now. They look like they've recovered a little bit. Oops, almost went through. So it's Trincocullo now and Venturelli. Venturelli now goes through. Here's the arrival of Switzerland. Well, they're going to beat the time of Spain. It's just going to come down to whether Reusser has helped enough on that final climb. Has she rescued this? Look at the face of Reusser. Naomi Rook is going to need a lie down for a long, long time. Look at her. She is burying herself to stay there. And now she's going to try and sprint for the finish line. Well done to Naomi Rook. That's impressive. Spain are in the hot seats. They're going to dismiss them from the hot seats any moment now, because these two riders are going to go to the top of the leaderboard. Switzerland have had a ride today. They're going to go into the hot Rug, it's going to be a massive advantage. The clock didn't stop because Royce had a bike change, and she doesn't have a chip on, does she?
I think it was over a minute, maybe closer to 2.
1:43, I think I made it.
Our new hot seat owner.
Yeah, amazing effort just to hold on to Rousseau and just go into that hurt box and that pain cave. Yeah, Royce, she had to recover from the individual time trial, and they had a fantastic ride, but it could have been even better if Rousseau didn't have to have a bike change, and in my opinion, quite a slow one at that.
It was. 54 minutes, 48.89. Now it's about France. Juliette Labousse looks at Maeva Squiban. She needs her to get to the top of the cobbles, and then they need to sprint. Squiban is suffering so badly right now. Just doesn't like the cobbles. She'll be better once they reach the tarmac. Then she'll feel a little bit more free. They'll get a bit of respite. She'll be able to recover a little bit, and they'll be able to sprint. Because she's a great climber. She just doesn't like the cobbles. Squiban now gets into the aero tuck. Labousse looks for her. She gets the bottle. She takes a drink. Now they need to settle in. 1,000 metres. It's going to be really tight, Rochelle, because Switzerland finished in 54.40.
Super close racing. We saw the Swiss and French men come in and put them on equal footing to go out there and the women to compete against each other. The French women have done a really great job.
Squiban waiting for her moment to try and go through. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. Labousse is quite happy. Whoa, don't touch the wheels.
Labousse, being the stronger rider now, just trying to bring it home for the French. They are just sitting in anticipation with less than 500 metres to go.
Thomas Voeckler looks very stressed at the finish line right now. Juliette Labousse, Maeva Squiban, it's all about this sprint now over the last few hundred metres. Labousse looks around and gets ready. Maeva Squiban is with her. They're sprinting to try and beat the Swiss squad to the finish line. Look at them cheering him on. Thomas Voeckler, he looks so stressed.
Oh, they're going to do it.
This is the time now. They need to sprint. And Maeva Squiban going for the finish line. Two of the most talented climbers in the world. 54 minutes 40 is the time to beat. It's going to be very close. Is it going to be the fastest time for France? They're almost there. 16 seconds. It counts down. Squiban sprinting. Labousse is on the aero skis. Look at the face of these two riders. It's going to be tight. They've done it. 4.7 seconds. They go into the hot seat.
Well, to this point, they've lived up to expectations. They're sitting in the hot seat with 3 teams to finish. Australia being the biggest threat to their gold medal. Just waiting for some time checks.
They nursed that so well, didn't they? Squibham was hanging on for dear life on the cobbles. Labous is so experienced. She's such a good road captain. She was able to just bring that home. Here come Australia now. This is going to be really, really tight. 13 seconds. The Australian women are ahead as we head towards the final climb of this race. Can these two riders blitz their way up the cobbles and take the gold for Australia for the second year running? It's going to be close.
Well, if I recall, they had a 33-second advantage when the women took off from the start ramp. So they have lost a lot of time over the French.
They have. And the French have taken 7 seconds in that second phase of that time trial. It's coming back. It's going to be very, very close. Right now at the finish line, it's 4.7 seconds between France and Switzerland. France have done everything they can do.
Labous did an amazing job finishing that off. It's going to be super, super hard for the two Australian women. They're 13 seconds ahead, but that last cobbled climb, you can lose a minute. It's so decisive.
But Amanda Spratt is such a good climber, isn't she? Well, Italy, let's see what they can do. The time to beat is 54.35. Italy are riding well together. Earlier on, it looked like they were, I don't know, actually. Now it's starting to hurt. Venturelli. Trinca Colonel is the fastest rider in this team, isn't she? Look at Venturelli. She drags her way back into the wheel. It's the mental toughness of these riders that is so impressive. I'm not so sure they're going to make it, you know. Under the red kite, they may well be heading for 4th place. Let's see what it's going to be. Italy, downhill. Only one team after this to reach the top of this climb, and that will be Australia after Germany. We haven't seen the German team for a while. Germany went through the second split way off the pace, so it looks like it's going to come down to a sprint by Australia to the top of this mountain climb to try and take the gold medal. It was so close last year, it might come down to similar today. Italy's time goes by. Right now, to get in the medals, you need 1 minute 50, but Switzerland, I think, are safe with a medal. France are safe with a medal. It just depends on what colour it's going to be.
I think that's a real race on our hands is between France and Australia for the gold medal. However, I think the French team will be quite confident that Australia went through that time check 13 seconds down, but still with the cobbled climb, the hardest section, the most decisive section of the circuit to go. So it's all up to the Australian women out there. Now, what can they do to bring it home? Can they hold on to that 13 seconds?
Italy are finishing, a tired team. What a ride they've done. It's been a tough one out there. They're going to be faster than Spain. They're going to put themselves into the bronze medal position. But unless Australia absolutely crack, it may well be that this team finish 4th. Let's see what the time is going to be here at the line. 3rd place for Italy, 45 kilometres an hour. France will be chewing their fingernails right now.
So Italy is going to have to sit back.
2 more teams to finish.
Yeah, according to the time checks, they may not be concerned about the German team, but now Australia. This is, like I said, the cobble climb. You can lose a minute. It's so decisive and they only had 13 seconds advantage over the French at that mid-intermediate time check. So what can the Australians do? Not far to the finish now. They need to get up the top of this cobble climb. They will turn to the left and see the 1 kilometre to go sign.
Brodie Chapman recovers, though.
She looked like she was in trouble, but she's now gone to the front to give Amanda Spratt just a little bit of a wheel to sit on.
So she was obviously just feeling at that little section, and every single part of this climb gives you something else. Brodie Chapman looks for Amanda Spratt to try and come through. Spratt's taking her time. She obviously was not able to go with that.
Oh, concerned Michael Matthews. He really wants that gold medal. It's so close.
They won the gold last year. Australia, they've also taken a bronze before. Matthews and Platt were in the team that time in 2022 when Switzerland won, but Spratt has not been able to give Brodie Chapman another turn. She tried to get into the aero skis, she couldn't do it. The time to beat is France's 54:35.71. Can Amanda Spratt go back through? But Chapman, we know, 4th in the world the other day. She knows what this climb is like. She knows how to ride it. She's had that experience. The French team are waiting. This would give them...
in trouble.
Oh, this is not good news. The French team have taken a silver medal in this discipline before, never taken the gold. Spratt is starting to drop back a little bit here. She's not so great on the cobble climbs like this, is she? But put her on the tarmac at the top like Maeva Scuban and she'll be all right.
Absolutely. She's a small light rider, struggles on the cobbles. Obviously in Australia we don't have cobbles, so you're not brought up in juniors, you know, riding on cobbles and things like that. But she's doing a good job.
She is doing a good job. There she is, hanging on. Just asking Brodie Chapman to do the work. She can see the top of the climb. We are seeing right now that at this point in the race, the gap is 8 seconds. This is going to be so tight at the finish line between... Oh, and Amanda Spratt right near the top of the climb just falters a little bit. Brodie Chapman checked over her shoulder. She probably got a little bit of information into the race radio. Can Australia bring this home? Chapman checks. Spratt has made it back onto the wheel. Now they need to put the hammer down. They need to go flat out, full stick, all the way to the finish, try and win the gold.
This is going to be a possibility. It's going to be close. It is going to be close. Australia versus France. France have crossed the finish line. They are watching the clock. Australia still with an advantage of 8 seconds.
Germany finish now, 4th fastest time, so they push Italy down 1 place. Brodie Chapman is emptying the tank. The time to beat, 54 minutes, 35.71. Can Amanda Spratt give Brodie Chapman one more turn just to help out, or will they just sprint for the finish? They're doing 52 kilometres an hour. They've got around about a minute to get to the line, and it's going to be very, very tight. You'd normally say 500 metres, done. Game over, gold medal Australia, but that's not the case because this last 500 metres can take you a minute. Michael Matthews, Jay Vine and Luke Plapp are literally running for the finish line. Is it going to be gold or is it going to be silver? Are France going to start the Marseillaise or are we going to have the green and gold of Australia? It's closing down now. Look at Michael Matthews' face. They've got 32 seconds to get to the finish line. Amanda Spratt hanging on to the wheel of Brodie Chapman. The time to beat is 54 minutes 35.71. The Australians are celebrating almost, but Spratt has lost the wheel of Brodie Chapman now. 54:35.71. The finish is almost there. 8, 7, 6. Australia take the gold by 5 seconds.
I called it, Anthony. France were the clear favourites in the general public, but I looked at that piece of paper of the Australian team. I think maybe knowing the athletes personally made me think, hang on a second, why is everyone saying that France is a clear favourites? Because that piece of paper for the Australian team, well, wow. Amanda Spratt, she has gone deeper in this race than in her entire life. She's had a huge, very long career. You see her Olympic rings around her neck. That is one of the most experienced riders you'll ever see, and she has just held the wheel of the 4th place individual time trialer here on Rwanda. And my gosh, will she be in a world of pain for the rest of the day.
Poof. What a performance by Australia. Brodie Chapman had to be dragged off her bike. Amanda Spratt hang on all the way up that climb for dear life. That was so close. If Spratt hadn't sprinted at the top of that climb, she was getting dropped, then it was going to be a silver medal. Australia take the gold yet again with an absolute nail-biter. Last year, it was a matter of a second. This year, it's 5.2. France take the silver, and Switzerland will take the bronze. That was such an exciting bike race.
Unbelievably exciting and nail-biting. It's just, can you imagine in the entire world and sport of cycling how close it can be on the same day between three nations?
Amazing.
Fighting for medals. And Switzerland would have been even closer to that fight for gold medal without a little bit of an interruption with Rousseau, but what a special moment.
A very special moment. Chapman has taken a medal before, so has Vine, so has Matthews. They've taken gold before. Luke Plapp has been a member of the bronze medal winning ride in 2022. A new experience for Amanda Spratt. And of course, let's not forget Felicity Wilson-Haffenden, who's out there on the course riding in, who did everything she could in the early stages. She's going to be a world champion as well. Nat White celebrates. What a performance by the Australians. It was looking like it might go either way for such a long time. The French team came back from, what, 30... They were 17 seconds. They were 33 at the handover, 17 seconds at the first split, 13 seconds at the second split, and 5 seconds at the finish. And Amanda Spratt, if she'd cracked at the top of that climb, it was game over.
Too experienced, Anthony. Too much knowledge. Too experienced. Too much, the communication between the riders and the team management. It's such a united unit, the Australian team. The men and women are so united as well with the training camps that they do and all the staff involved. It's an incredible environment. And I think that's why when I looked at the paper and, everything you read on the internet was about the French team, and I was thinking, well, hang on, Australia not going to line up and not give their best. And that piece of paper and those riders in that lineup looks to me a very hard team to beat.
Let's take a look at the result of an exciting mixed relay team time trial. Australia, back-to-back wins in this discipline. They beat France by 5.24 seconds. Switzerland at 10 after Reusser had a bike change. What an incredible race. This mixed relay, when it was first introduced, everyone was a bit like, I don't know, but it really is fantastic.
Yeah, it was when it was introduced, it was super confusing. I mean, we had so many years of trade team time trial, which was a different format. So it's taken a long time to really respect the format, understand it, and I think the UCI have done a fabulous job in the format of bringing men and women together as they do in athletics, and they have a mixed team relay. And this shows you the mixture of men and women in Australia at the moment are the most powerful time trial.
Now, where's Felicity Wilson-Haffenden? She needs to join them. She's still out on the course somewhere. Here's our top three. Switzerland. It looked like the Swiss would be the gold medalists for quite a while, but Australia looked so quick.
With Switzerland only finishing 10 seconds down. Could have been a different story had they not